Most men will shut this video off within 60 seconds. Not because I'm wrong, but because what I'm about to tell you will shatter comfortable illusions you've been living with. If you can hear all 5 of these truths without getting defensive, you're already different from 95% of men. There are truths about yourself that you've been avoiding. Things you know deep down but refuse to acknowledge. Patterns you've noticed but choose to ignore. And these truths are keeping you exactly where you are. Today, I'm laying out 5 brutal realities that most men can't handle hearing. Alphas will get angry. Betas will make excuses. Everyone else will click away. But Sigma males? You'll recognize yourself in these truths. You might not like them, but you'll acknowledge them. Because that's what we do. We face reality even when it's uncomfortable. Let's see which category you fall into. Truth 1. You trust too easily, and it's going to destroy you. Let me start with something you probably don't want to hear. You give your trust away too freely, and people are exploiting that weakness. I know. You think you're selective. You think you're careful about who you let in, but you're not. You're giving people the benefit of the doubt when they haven't earned it. You're believing words instead of watching actions. You're trusting based on potential instead of proven behavior. Here's the reality. Most people will betray you the moment it benefits them to do so. Not because they're evil, but because most people prioritize themselves over you when it matters. That's just human nature. But you keep trusting people before they've demonstrated trustworthiness. You keep giving second chances to people who showed you exactly who they are the first time. You keep believing promises from people whose past behavior predicts broken promises. Why? Because you project your own integrity onto others. You think, I would never do that, so they probably wouldn't either. But that's not how it works. Your character doesn't determine theirs. I learned this the hard way. Trusted a business partner who seemed solid. Shared information that could damage me if it got out. Gave him access to resources he promised to protect. 6 months later, when a better opportunity came along for him, he used everything I'd shared against me to gain leverage. The information I trusted him with became weapons aimed at my reputation and business. Was I shocked? Honestly, no. Because looking back, all the warning signs were there. Small integrity breaches I'd ignored. Inconsistencies between his words and actions I'd overlooked. Red flags I'd dismissed because I wanted to believe in him. That's the problem with trusting too easily. You ignore evidence because you want to believe people are better than they actually are. Here's what you need to understand. Trust should be earned slowly and can be lost instantly. Every person in your life should be on probation until they've proven through consistent behavior over time that they deserve deeper trust. And even then, even with people who've earned it, maintain some level of guardedness. Because people change, circumstances change, and when they do, previously trustworthy people can become liabilities. This isn't paranoia. This is pattern recognition. This is learning from repeated observations about how humans actually behave under pressure. Stop giving people trust they haven't earned. Stop giving second chances to people who showed you who they are. Stop projecting your integrity onto people who've demonstrated they don't share it. Your trust is valuable. Treat it that way. Guard it. Ration it. Make people earn every level of access to your life, your information, your vulnerabilities. Because the alternative is getting betrayed repeatedly and wondering why you keep attracting untrustworthy people. You're not attracting them. You're allowing them in by trusting too easily. Truth 2. You're still seeking approval from people whose opinions don't matter. Here's a brutal truth. You're still performing for an audience that doesn't deserve a show. You make decisions based on what others will think. You censor yourself to avoid judgment. You modify your behavior to gain approval from people whose opinion shouldn't matter to you at all. Your family, who criticizes every unconventional choice you make. You're still trying to please them. Your friends who mock your ambitions. You're still seeking their validation. Strangers on social media. You're still craving their likes and comments. And all that approval seeking is keeping you small. Let me be specific about what this looks like. You want to start a business, but you don't because your parents think it's risky. You want to pursue an unconventional career, but you stay in your safe job because your friends would think you're crazy. You want to set boundaries with toxic people, but you don't because others might think you're being harsh. You're letting people who aren't living the life you want to live dictate how you should live yours. Here's what I realized about 5 years ago. The people whose approval I was seeking the most were the people whose lives I least wanted to emulate. I was trying to impress family members who were unhappy in their own lives. I was seeking validation from friends who were stuck in the same place for years. I was caring about opinions from people who hadn't accomplished anything I respected. Why was I giving these people power over my decisions? Why was their approval worth anything to me? The moment I stopped seeking approval from people whose lives I didn't want, everything changed. I made decisions based on my own judgment. I pursued goals that excited me regardless of others' opinions. I set boundaries that protected my peace, even when others called me selfish. And you know what happened? The people whose opinions actually mattered. Successful mentors, people I respected, high-character individuals, they didn't criticize. They understood. Some even applauded. Because people who are actually doing things worth doing don't waste time judging others for trying to do things worth doing. Here's the test. Before you make a decision based on what others will think, ask yourself, is this person living a life I want to live? Have they accomplished things I respect? Do they share my values? If the answer is no, their opinion is worthless. Don't factor it into your decisions at all. This doesn't mean being reckless or ignoring all feedback. It means being selective about whose opinions carry weight in your life. Seek advice from people who've achieved what you want to achieve. Value input from people whose character you admire. Consider perspectives from people who share your values. But everyone else? Their opinions are background noise. Let them think whatever they want while you build the life you actually want to live. Truth 3. Your comfort zone is a slow death. This one is going to hurt. You're slowly dying in comfort and you know it. You've built a life that's safe, predictable, and completely unfulfilling. You wake up, go through the motions, and go to sleep. Repeat. Day after day, year after year. And somewhere deep inside, you know you're capable of more. You know you're settling. You know you're playing small. But comfort is seductive. It whispers, this is good enough. Why risk what you have? Why make things harder? So you stay. In the job that bores you, but pays the bills. In the relationship that's dying but familiar. In the routine that's killing your soul, but feels safe. Let me tell you what comfort actually is. It's slow death disguised as stability. Every day you stay in your comfort zone, you're choosing slow deterioration over growth. You're choosing the known mediocrity over the unknown possibility. You're choosing to slowly fade rather than burn bright. I spent 3 years in a job that was comfortable. Good pay, low stress, decent people. Nothing wrong with it objectively. But it wasn't challenging me. I wasn't growing. I wasn't building toward anything meaningful. I knew I needed to leave. But comfort kept me there. The known safety felt better than the unknown risk. Finally, a friend said something that shook me. You're not building a career. You're building a very comfortable cage. He was right. I'd traded my potential for predictability. I'd sacrificed growth for security. I'd chosen comfort over becoming who I was capable of becoming. Within a month, I quit. No backup plan. Just clarity that staying was worse than the risk of leaving. The first 6 months were brutal. Financial stress, uncertainty, doubt. Everything comfort promised to protect me from. But I was alive again, growing again, challenged again, becoming more capable, more confident, more myself. That's what leaving comfort does. It forces you to develop capacities you didn't know you had. It reveals strength you didn't know existed. It transforms you into someone you couldn't have become by staying safe. Here's the brutal reality. Everything you want is outside your comfort zone. Every meaningful achievement, every significant relationship, every version of yourself that you actually respect. You can't grow and stay comfortable. You can't evolve and play safe. You can't become extraordinary by doing ordinary things. Your comfort zone isn't protecting you, it's imprisoning you. Every day you stay there, you're trading your potential for the illusion of security. And the worst part? You know this. You feel it. That restlessness, that dissatisfaction, that voice saying, there has to be more than this. That voice is right. There is more, but you'll never experience it from inside your comfort zone. Truth. 4. You're wasting time with people who add nothing to your life. Let me hit you with some math. You have roughly 4,000 weeks to live, maybe more, maybe less. And you're spending hundreds of those weeks with people who drain you, distract you, or actively make your life worse. Why? Because you're confusing familiarity with friendship, history with loyalty, proximity with relationship. You have people in your life who you don't even like, but you keep them around out of obligation or habit. Friends from college who you have nothing in common with anymore. Family members who criticize everything you do. Colleagues who waste your time with meaningless conversations. And every hour you spend with these people is an hour you're not spending with people who actually matter or doing things that actually advance your life. Here's what nobody tells you. Most relationships should end. Not dramatically, not with conflict. They should just fade as people grow in different directions. But you maintain dead relationships because you feel guilty about letting them die. You keep investing in people who stopped investing in you years ago. You stay loyal to people who wouldn't cross the street for you if there was nothing in it for them. I did an audit 5 years ago, wrote down everyone I spent time with regularly, then honestly assessed what each relationship added to my life. The results were brutal. Maybe 20% of my relationships were genuinely valuable. People I learned from, laughed with, or genuinely enjoyed. Another 30% were neutral. Not bad, but not particularly good either. But 50%, they were actively negative. Energy drains. Time wasters. People who made my life measurably worse. So I cut them, not dramatically. I just stopped initiating contact. Stopped accepting their invitations. Let the relationships die natural deaths. And you know what happened? My life immediately improved. I had more time for meaningful work, more energy for valuable relationships, more space for personal growth. The people I cut, they barely noticed. Most didn't even reach out, which proved they were never really invested in the first place. Here's the truth you need to accept. Your time is finite. Your energy is limited. Every person you give these resources to is a choice to not give them to someone or something else. Stop maintaining relationships out of guilt. Stop spending time with people who don't add value to your life. Stop sacrificing your peace for people who wouldn't sacrifice convenience for you. Be ruthlessly selective about who gets access to your time and energy. The right people will appreciate your selectivity. The wrong people will get offended. And that offense is proof they should be cut. Truth 5. Your potential means nothing until you act on it. This is the most painful truth of all. You might be capable of great things, but if you're not doing great things, your potential is worthless. You're smart. You're capable. You have good ideas. You could achieve impressive things if you just... But you don't. You think about it. You plan it. You talk about it. But you don't do it. And all that potential? It's just comfortable self-delusion keeping you from facing the fact that you're not achieving what you're capable of achieving. Let me be blunt. Nobody cares about your potential. Not the world, not successful people, and eventually, not even you. The world rewards execution, not potential. It rewards people who do things, not people who could do things. It rewards completed projects, not great ideas that never happened. Your potential is just possibility. And possibility without action is fantasy. I know so many men who are smarter than me, more talented than me, more naturally gifted than me. They have potential I could never match, but they're stuck in the same places they were 5 years ago. Same jobs, same situations, same frustrations. Why? Because they're waiting for the right time, waiting for better circumstances, waiting for confidence to magically appear, waiting for permission from the universe. Meanwhile, less talented people are executing, taking imperfect action, failing forward, building momentum through doing rather than planning. And those people are passing by the potentially great ones who never started. Here's what I learned. You don't build confidence before you act. You act, and confidence follows. You don't wait until you're ready. You start before you're ready, and become ready through doing. Your potential doesn't matter. Your excuses don't matter. Your perfect plan doesn't matter. What matters is whether you're taking action today toward the person you claim you want to become. If you're not, your potential is just ego protection. It's a story you tell yourself to feel better about not doing the work. I could do that if I wanted to. Then do it. I have the capability to achieve that. Then achieve it. I'm just waiting for the right moment. The right moment was yesterday. The second right moment is now. Stop hiding behind potential and start executing. Because the gap between who you could be and who you are is entirely filled with excuses disguised as reasons. You made it through all 5. That already separates you from most men. Most people can't hear that they trust too easily without getting defensive. They can't accept that they seek approval from the wrong people without justifying it. They can't face that comfort is killing them without making excuses. They can't acknowledge that their relationships are mostly trash without feeling guilty. They can't admit their potential means nothing without acting on it. But Sigma males? We can hear hard truths because we are more interested in growth than comfort. We can face brutal realities because we are more committed to improvement than ego protection. These truths hurt. I know they do. But they hurt less than staying stuck in patterns that keep you from becoming who you're capable of becoming. You've heard the truths. Now you have a choice. You can close this video and go back to your comfortable illusions. Or you can take action on at least one of these truths today.
Stop trusting someone who hasn't earned it. Stop seeking approval from someone whose opinion doesn't matter. Step out of your comfort zone on something specific. Cut contact with someone who drains you. Take one concrete action on something you've been planning forever. Just one. Today. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Today. Because these truths are worthless unless they change your behavior. Look, these truths aren't meant to destroy you. They are meant to wake you up. You are capable of so much more than you are currently achieving. But you are trapped in patterns, trusting too easily, seeking wrong approval, hiding in comfort, maintaining dead relationships, confusing potential with achievement. Breaking these patterns requires facing uncomfortable truths. And most men can't do it. But you're still here, which means you're different, which means you might actually be ready to change. The question is, will you?
If you made it through all 5 truths without making excuses, drop a comment with the word truths and tell me which one hit hardest. And if this video didn't break you, but instead motivated you to take action, hit that like button and subscribe. I'm going to keep delivering brutal realities that only Sigma males can handle. Remember, knowing the truth changes nothing. Acting on the truth changes everything. Your move.